Afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the class. We are doing communication chapter right now, and this is our second class. I hope the first class was good and the concepts were clear to you, whatever was taught. If there is any problem that you can ask me now, I told you in the last class as well, if there is any problem that you have regarding the previous chapter, please ask me now. I can repeat whatever you want. Also, because I've taken special permission for the students who were asking me to, explain few things in Hindi. I can do it briefly. Yeah, see, Ankit, you came again. I'll explain few topics very quickly in Hindi so that it doesn't waste everybody else's time and all of us are on the same page. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll quickly summarize my previous session in just like, or in 5-10 minutes. And then I will proceed further. There is one child who wants me to repeat non-verbal communication. I got it, Majuna. I'll repeat that. No worries. Gunshita, and there was one more child, Dharmendra. I think I was very clear in my last class that please ask me questions which are relevant. Don't ask me questions which will come towards the end or probably I'm supposed to cover in this lecture or the next lecture, right? Right now, I am taking up those questions regarding the previous lecture, the topics if they are unclear to you. Okay, I will be clearing up that to you. Today, we will be doing formal and informal communication, and we will be discussing a few things at length. But before that, in previous lecture, Ankit, is there any specific topic that you want me to repeat? Tarun, we did the communication, we did the process of communication, we did the broad categories of communication, but we did the verbal and non-verbal. We discussed about general English and business English, how they're different from each other. Fizan, I will explain. Okay, there's quite a lot of you who wants me to repeat non-verbal. I do that. I'll do that. Okay, so I hope you're clear with the process that, there is a sender, then that person encodes the message. The message is sent through a channel. Then there is a receiver who decodes the message and receives it, right? I won't be able to repeat everything. Okay, let's start. Now, what is communication? Communication में क्या होता है? Communication में basically हम एक इंफॉर्मेशन और आइडियाज को एक्सचेंज करते हैं, जो भी हम सोच रहे हैं, जो भी हमारी फीलिंग है, जो भी हमारे इमोशंस हैं, हम उसे एक्सचेंज करते हैं दो लोगों के साथ या बहुत सारे लोगों के साथ. ओके, उस प्रोसेस में क्या होता है कि वी हैव वन सेंडर, द पर्सन जो इंफॉर्मेशन भेज रहा है, जो बोल रहा है, जो लिख कर बता रहा है, and then there is a channel as in that, through something that you communicate. For example, you might be communicating through a phone. Maybe you are talking to somebody. आप किसी से बिल्कुल फेस टू फेस बात कर रहे हैं, आप फोन पे बात कर रहे हैं, या आप लिख कर बात कर रहे हैं, आप ईमेल लिख रहे हैं, लेटर लिख रहे हैं, whatever. So there is a channel. वहां पे एक रिसीवर होता है जो एक मैसेज को लेता है और आपका समझता है. जब भी हम इनकोडिंग और डिकोडिंग की बात करते हैं, वो एक मेंटल एक्टिविटी है. इट इज नॉट समथिंग दैट यू डू इट फिजिकली. देयर इज नो सॉफ्टवेयर फॉर इट. ओके, आप अपनी समझ से उस बात को समझते हैं. बट कम्युनिकेशन इफेक्टिव कब होती है, कब कम्युनिकेशन एक अच्छी कम्युनिकेशन मानी जाती है? जब एक रिसीवर को सेंडर की कही भी सारी बात समझ आती है. Am I clear? Yes. So this was about communication. Then we came on to it that सबका अपना अपना एक स्टाइल होता है, सबका अपना एक बोलने का तरीका होता है. एंड अगर आपको अलग अलग स्टाइल्स की नॉलेज हो तो मिस इंटरप्रिटेशन और मिसकंसेप्शन के चांसेस थोड़े कम होते हैं इफ यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट द अदर पर्सन इज ट्राइंग टू से. ओके Tarun, I'm strictly following ICI module and nothing else. I totally stick to what is there in your study material. I will be just explaining you that. I might take some examples of my own, but I will not teach you any topic which is separate from your study material. So I'm following a sequence as well. So this was the rule of my class that everybody should have their study material with themselves. I hope everybody have their सबके पास अपने अपने study materials हैं. Encoding means converting. You know, you convert what you are thinking into words. So that is encoding. Okay, encoding होता है जब आप words में उसको express करते हैं. So you have thought of something और आपने उसको quickly words में कर दिया तो उसको encoding कहते हैं. Similarly, decoding is when somebody understands as per their जो words होते हैं जो उसको वो समझते हैं, convert करते हैं. ठीक है. उसके बाद the other thing that I explained was I was explaining that every person has a unique style. सबका अपना अपना एक style होता है. और अगर आपको अलग अलग और सब बहुत सारे चैनल्स यूज करते हैं अपनी इंफॉर्मेशन को भेजने के लिए. So if you have a knowledge about this entire process, then you might be able to understand the other person better and what they're trying to say, right? And now communication is not only about the words that you speak. सिर्फ बातें नहीं होती हैं. There's so many other things. There's facial expressions, जो आपके expressions होते हैं, जो आप tone होती है, जो आपका style होता है बोलने का. So I gave an example last time also that एक बच्चा घर आता है, the child is the clothes are full of dirt and mama को एकदम से गुस्सा आ जाता है देख के, but she doesn't say anything. वो कुछ कहती नहीं है, but her expressions show that she's very angry. The child understands. बच्चे को समझ आ रहा है mama is very angry, right? But mama doesn't say it by words. So you at times आप कुछ चीजें convey करते हैं सिर्फ word से नहीं, but अपने expression से, अपने tone से, or probably the mother say चलो जल्दी से दोबारा से ready हो जाओ. So she's angry and she's saying it angrily. बोल वो गलत नहीं रही है. I mean like वो अपने words में वो कुछ नहीं कह रही है, but वो अपने tone और अपने expressions में express कर रही है. And I'm very angry with you. What you have done to your clothes. Am I clear? Yes. Okay. Now next comes the broad categories of communication. Now in broad communication categories of communication, what do we do is the decoding is translation. So there's just difference of words. Encoding is converting, decoding is translating. Okay, Sathik, I'm just repeating my last class quickly in Hindi. Okay, thank you, Kriti. Everything was clear to you. Very good. Okay. Next comes the broad category. Quickly, verbal. Now we have we categorize communication into two parts, which is, I'll just share my PPT on side by side so that you know what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, categories of communication. Communication की दो categories होती हैं जिसमें हम divide करते हैं channels के through and purpose and style. So जो हमारा channel होता है वो हम उसको categorize further करते हैं in verbal, non-verbal and visual. Okay, and in style में and purpose में हम करते हैं formal and informal. Now, what do you mean by channel? So channel is the way you are expressing verbally, as in like while you are speaking, right, or you're writing. Non-verbally is when you are trying to show, जब आप अपने expressions में, अपने tone में, अपने body language में, अपने gestures में, like this is my gesture. Okay, when I'm teaching and I move my hands, this is a gesture. Okay, the tone is that जैसे मैं if I talk very loudly, softly, angrily, happily, tone changes. हमारे हर चीज में टोन, हमारा हर चीज चेंज होता है. Am I clear? विजुअली जब हम चीज को देख के समझते हैं, कुछ चीजें दिखा के समझाई जाती है, कुछ चीजें विजुअली समझाई जाती है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल द डेटा, right? A company wants to show the progress of their company in the year. उनका sales कैसा रहा, and you know what were the profits, what were the losses, what were the things, I mean everything. And they want to just show it. They show it through a graph, they show it through a pie chart. तो उसके through वो समझाते हैं, and then visually people understand better. In the last class, I think I personally felt that I did not explain visual communication to you in detail. So I will be discussing that today again. Okay, I will start from that there only. Based on purpose and style. Now, purpose and style क्या होता है कि हम communication को किस तरह से use कर रहे हैं. Are we using it for the formal conversation? Formal and informal, I don't know what do we call it in Hindi. But formal is like, you know, जब offices में आप बात करते हैं, when colleagues are talking to each other, when you're talking to your boss, these are formal communications, okay? Informal is when you are talking to your family, your friends, probably your colleagues, and you know, and when you're talking to your colleague, you're not talking about the work or something, you're just talking casually. So that is the informal conversations that you do, right? Next comes the business English. Business English may basically we talk about that it's different from general English because पहली बात English एक ऐसी language है जो globally use होती है. This is why we are doing this subject as well. We are doing it because this was important. These days to understand this language, ये language पता होना सबसे जरूरी है क्योंकि आप कुछ भी trade करें, कोई भी profession करें, you will be required to use English language, right? Or not just English, business English. And business English has certain rules, like I discussed last time also, कि आप कैसे general English को business English बना सकते हैं because it is more formal. Vocabulary थोड़ी formal होती है, grammar थोड़ा formal होता है, बोलने का style थोड़ा formal होता है. So and vocabulary में you use words जो trade specific होते हैं या profession specific होते हैं, so you use such words. Then having a knowledge about business English की knowledge से you open up more career opportunities as well. And why we are doing is to prepare you for future. हम आपको future के prepare कर रहे हैं. Why we introducing the subject is so that you can focus on your subjects even better. You can attempt, आप अपने exams को और better attempt कर सकते हैं. And eventually जब आप work कर रहे हैं, when you're in a professional environment, you will be able to, you know, express yourself better if you know business English. आप emails better लिख सकते हैं, you can write your reports better, you can write your articles better, and that is something will become part of your lives. Okay. Okay, 5 minutes more because I don't want to waste my today's class again. Verbal communication is very easy. जो आप literally written or oral form में बताते हैं. Written is when you write something. Oral जो आप बोलते हैं. And written communication is जब आप documents, emails, reports, letters उस तरह की चीजें बनाते हैं. और legal instructions होते हैं. आपकी documentation, this is all written communication. And oral communication is जो आप बोल के बात करते हैं. Hello. Oral communication is जब आप बोल के बात करते हैं face to face, किसी से phone पे, कोई video conferencing पे, like right now this is a verbal communication, right? और formal mediums में आप use करते हैं इससे, जैसे कि seminars, lectures, like right now I'm giving a lecture, so I'm using a verbal communication. And but it is only effective if you have a clear speech and tone. अगर आपका tone clear है, आपकी speech clear है, तभी ये effective होता है, otherwise नहीं होता है. And the right use of right volume and speed. You should know कि आपका volume कब loud होना चाहिए, कब slow down होना चाहिए, कब आपको बहुत fast बोलना है, कब आपको slow बोलना है. Like I told you in my previous class in the beginning, that if I'm very fast and if you don't understand what I'm saying, you can just tell me, ma'am, you're very fast, slow down. If I'm very slow, tell me. You have to maintain the right speed. Okay. Verbal communication सबसे easy, सबसे fast methodology है communication की, but still it is only 7% of human population that uses this. Okay. Now comes the oral essentials. This is easy. Pronunciation, listening and conversation, spoken grammar, vocabulary, noticing language, presentation face to face, और इस तरह की चीजें होती है जो आपके लिए बहुत जरूरी है. Pronunciation, अगर आपके वर्ड्स की प्रोनाउंसिएशन करेक्ट नहीं है, द वर्ड्स कैन बी मिस इंटरप्रेटेड, कुछ उनका और मीनिंग हो सकता है, द अदर पर्सन माइट नॉट अंडरस्टैंड आप क्या बोल रहे हैं, सो इट्स वेस्ट. लिसनिंग एंड कॉन्वर्सेशन, यू हैव टू लिसन टू बी अ गुड स्पीकर. अगर जब तक आप सुनेंगे नहीं तब तक आप एक अच्छे स्पीकर नहीं बन सकते, क्योंकि आपको ये पता ही नहीं चलेगा कि सामने वाले ने आपको क्या बोला है. सो हाउ विल यू रिस्पॉन्ड बैक? Spoken grammar is basically, somebody had asked me this earlier as well, what is spoken grammar? Now, spoken grammar is a grammar, when you use it, intelligently in your conversations, जो आपकी spoken English होती है वो grammatically correct होनी चाहिए. It should be complete and should be compelling. उसमें grammatically गलती नहीं होनी चाहिए. Am I clear? You should be very clear. Of course, writing में ज़्यादा detailing होती है, but बोलने पर भी बहुत details होती हैं that you need to take care of. Okay. And sometimes what happens is when people are talking casually, they don't take grammar very seriously. So it's very important to take grammar very seriously. Otherwise, again, you convey the wrong meaning. Okay. There are two examples in your book, which is on page number 1.4. Okay, if you look at these two examples, in the first example, there are proper sentences that have been used while speaking. So spoken English ke according, this is the perfect language that somebody has used. But in the other one, it's unclear what other person is trying to say. It's in the second one, in the A part, it says, didn't know you came late. Now, this is not correct English, okay? Although this is spoken, but this is grammatically, this is not correct. This sentence structure is not correct. It is supposed to be, I didn't know that you came late, okay? I didn't know you came late is wrong. Okay, so at times when people are spontaneous, jab log on the spot bolte hain or unplanned bolte hain, they tend to speak wrong. Wrong is wrong. You need to be correct grammatically. Okay, so you need to take care. If you want effective oral communication, you need to have grammar in place. Vocabulary, of course. Noticing language, we discussed last time also. It is emphasized to the need for the learners to analyze features of spoken grammar and produce their features in their own speech. Now, what you notice in the language, you need to produce in your speech. जो आप notice करते हैं वो आप practice करिए अपनी language में बोलने के लिए, so that you get better and the communication also gets better. Presentation and face-to-face video interviews, इन सब के लिए ही oral communication बहुत जरूरी है, because इन सब में आप सिर्फ orally ही बोलते हैं. आप जब आप प्रेजेंटेशन दे रहे हैं और अगर आपकी ही कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर नहीं है और आपको नहीं पता आपको क्या बोलना है, तो हाउ वुड एक्सप्लेन टू समबडी एल्स? फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर इफ आई डोंट नो व्हाट आई एम सपोज्ड टू टीच टुडे और मैं उसको प्लान नहीं करती हूँ, then how will I teach you and how will you understand what I'm trying to say? Am I clear? Are you understanding what I'm saying? Tarun, my speed is a little fast right now because I am just repeating the last class. I don't want to waste the time. Kriti, no, this is not correct grammatically. Didn't know you came late. I mean, I don't understand what the person is trying to say. Who didn't know that I came late? Who? Right? First, the problem in the statement is this. Then don't know you came late. No. This is also wrong. The correct statement is, I didn't know that you came late. Okay. That I. So, placing two words on its sentence is complete. You will understand this when you do the next one. Okay. So, the next one is non-verbal. Okay. Now, many of you had problems with this non-verbal communication. So, let's discuss this in details now. Now, non-verbal communication is a process by sending and receiving wordless messages. So basically, you are sending and receiving wordless messages. Okay. Now, what does that mean? It means that you did not say a word, but yet you have conveyed your emotions. आपने words में कुछ नहीं कहा है, but आपने अपने expressions सब कुछ बता दिया. Okay. So some of the functions are to complement and illustrate. Some, of course, some non-verbal communication is to basically complement or illustrate or reinforce or to emphasize on what you're speaking. Okay. Or to control and regulate it. That whatever is I'm speaking, my expressions, my tone, my gestures, my body language just goes along with it. Okay. Please understand, non-verbal communication includes expressions, body language, gestures, tones, okay, or these are the broadly categories by which you can express your ideas and your thoughts. Okay. Now we came on to types of non-verbal communication. In non-physical non-verbal communication, when I said physical, physical means body, right? So we're talking about the body language here. In body language, we talk about facial expressions, okay, gestures, touches, other physical signals constitute this type of communication. Now, if you go to an interview, for example, listen to me very carefully. You go to an interview, okay, and the interviewers are sitting in front of you. You enter in the room very casually, okay. You're just walking, and your body is just loose, and you're just walking slowly. You're swaying around just the way children move in the students move in the college, right? You are telling the other person that I'm not very serious about this job, okay. Okay, or when you sat down, when some person asked you to sit down, you just sit like this, casually, just the way you're sitting on a sofa, right? Again, the way what kind of body language you had, what kind of your posture you have while sitting in front of an interviewer says a lot about you. We will be again discussing this at length, but I'm just giving you a little gist that how these things play into role. Okay, what kind of impression the other person will make, no matter how good English you speak, no matter how talented you are. But if your body language while sitting in front of somebody is not correct, you will not get the job, right? One person needs to take care of that. Or the other person asks you a question that, tell me something about yourself. And you start telling about yourself, all good things, but your pitch is too loud. You're shouting. You're so loud because you're so enthusiastic to tell about yourself. Again, that is wrong. So what I'm trying to say here is that along with the verbal communication, your non-verbal communication also matters a lot. Okay, how you speak, what kind of a tone you have, what kind of expressions you have, how you are sitting, how you are behaving, everything matters. And that should go with what you are speaking. That is why I said non-verbal communication complements with verbal communication, should complement with verbal communication. Am I clear? Yes. So, and it can be contradictory also. Like I just said, that you might be talking all good things about you, but your body language and the way you're sitting doesn't tell me that you want this job. Okay, I'm not very clear about the fact that you want this job. So why will I give you the job, no matter how good you are, right? Am I clear? Now, are you getting what verbal and non-verbal communication is? Presentation. Of course, Harshit, presentation of your ideas affect. That is the communication. You are basically expressing your ideas, your feelings, your behavior. Okay. Harshit, I just explained what are the functions of non-verbal communication. I do that. I'm sorry, Berka. I know I'm supposed to upload the videos. I'll do that today. I'll get it done today. I just had to make some changes in that. So this is why I did not. Okay, so quickly, physical, I have already explained to you. Then comes the paralanguage. Paralanguage is basically the way you see something more than the actual words used, reveal intent of the message. The voice quality, intonation, pitch, stress, tone, style of speaking communicates approvals, interest, of the lack of it. Now, my tone and my, sometimes, have you ever seen that, sometimes you're very happy. And so when you're happy, it's not only your words that say you're happy, it is not your smiles that say happy. Your voice also says that you're happy. You express through your voice as well. You are, and anybody can feel, at times it happens, you pick up somebody's phone and you know the other person has called you for a good news, or they want to share a good news with you. How do you know that? Because their voice is happy. So paralanguages, when you express things in your stress, your tone, and your style of speaking. Aesthetic communication is when you express through your artistic form. Now, not everybody is good with that, but some people are happy, they like to dance, and some people like to express their sadness through dance. Everybody has their own style, okay? Some people like to release their stress while dancing, okay? And somebody likes to dance in their happiness. So everybody has their own way of expressing. Appearance, I've told you this very clearly. I think there should be confusion. If you are not dressed up properly for something, or you are not dressed up appropriately for something, then you might be mistaken. I mean, you might be considered you're not interested. Okay, your appearance also creates a lot of it says a lot of things about you. Okay, it tells that you're not organized, it tells you're not interested, it tells you are very casual, it tells you you don't want to take care of things. Yes, Kriti, yes, it's a good example that you've given. When mothers are happy, they made some special food or sweets. Yes, see, so they have their own way of communicating that they are happy. Yes, I would call it a aesthetic communication, because they're not saying anything. So creating something while making food, also you're creating something, right? So I think that's a very aesthetic form of communication. Paralanguage, again. Oh, how difficult is it to understand paralanguage? It is just that your tone, when you are angry, your tone is also angry, right? Even if I don't say that I'm angry with you, my tone will tell you that I'm very angry with you. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now let's proceed. Okay. Now I hope now everybody is clear with the last class. I've explained a little bit in Hindi as well. Now I think it should be clear to you. Now let's start with today's class, which is visual communication. Okay. Okay. So now visual communication is, like I told you last time also, it is communication that is aided or that is helped by visuals. Okay, now what is visuals? Visual is something that you see. Okay, visual comes from the word vision. Vision is eyes. So when you see something and you understand, you basically communicate through science. Now, when you're going on the road, there are road signs on the sides, right? And they're just signs, there's no explanation about it, but you know what it means, right? So it's a visual communication. They know, you will just understand it, and and when there's a right, there is a left, everything you understand by looking at the visually the board. Okay, it usually reinforces the written communication. Okay. So reinforces written communication means that it just explains. Reinforces means to repeat something, to reinforce something, or to express something again visually. Am I clear? Okay. It's a powerful medium because people who do not understand what you are, speaking, or probably they are not getting up some vocabulary, probably they're not understanding what you mean. They understand visually, and some people are very good with visuals. They just look at something and they know what it is. Am I clear? Yes. Okay. Print audiovisual medias make use of visuals to convey their messages. Now, prints and audiovisuals, basically, prints, of course, because you can get it printed, and audio and visual media make use, like, for example, advertisements, right? That's an audiovisual media. That has audio also, that has media, that has, visual also, and together they convey a message. Am I clear? Yes. It conveys clearly and concisely a great deal of information. Visual communication can clearly and concisely, clearly, because when you see something happening right in front of you, and when you're hearing something also simultaneously, there is no confusion left. You are clear and everything is concise, because when you're looking at something, nobody has to explain something to you in details, okay, and again repeating something. Like, for example, if I am, why do we create PPTs, presentations? Why do we do that? Because, like, right now on your screens, you see a PPT right in front of you, right? So, why do we create that? We create it because when you will visually look at something written on the board, you will understand better. And it is reinforcing it also. Am I clear? Yes, because you're visually seeing it also. This is why teachers write on the board as well. Okay. Now, this is essential part of office presentation these days. Like, we keep repeating ourselves. Everything has to do with your professional world. Everything has to do with what you will be doing eventually. Okay. And office presentations require a lot of visual communications. You will be creating a lot of graphs. You will be creating a lot of pies. You will be creating, different ways of expressing your data, what you feel, everything, right? Now, for example, if you look at this visual, this is, it tells you about the cost of construction of the house, like, how the cost was bifurcated, right? Look at it and tell me, what do you understand with this visual? If I just show you this, what do you understand? If you look at this visual, what will you understand if I just show you this? जेवा विजुअल कम्युनिकेशन इज जब हम किसी चीज को देख के कम्युनिकेट करते हैं. व्हेन यू लुक एट समथिंग, अब हम एक विजुअल्स क्रिएट करते हैं टू कन्वे अ मैसेज टू पीपल. Okay, so that is visual communication. Cost of building, okay, not cost of building. um it is actually showing you the bifurcation of how the cost was divided and how the cost has been spent. The funds that was supposed to be spent on the construction of the house. Now, out of those funds, how much did we spend on what? Okay, and now rather than giving you a full paragraph about how did we divide the funds, somebody can just express it like this so simply, right? And then give a presentation over it. Like, 10% was spent on the procurement of the timber, right? Timber was used while constructing the house, so 10% was spent on that. Then 15% was done on the supervision. By supervision, we mean the labor, the contractor, the person who was the architects, and the one who was, looking after engineers, the one who was looking after that what is happening in the building. 15% on procurement of steel. Again, 15% of the funds was spent on, buying up the steel, right? The 15%, and probably maybe they also include the labor of whatever the labor was, given the duty of using the steel in the construction, right? So they calculate everything from procurement to installing, then bricks, then cement, then labor, everything, right? And so easy to understand rather. And somebody like me who has no knowledge about construction of the house, who has nothing to do with it, for me it will be so easy to understand that, how the cost was divided. Maybe I will not, as a layperson, I will not understand the technical calculation, and if somebody is using those technical words, I won't understand, right? But this is easy to for me to understand. Okay, are we clear? Are we clear about the visual communication? Yes. If there is any confusion, please ask me now. Then I'm moving on to formal and informal communications. Okay, so let's start with the formal and informal communication, if in case everybody is clear with whatever has been taught. So typography is basically the style and the appearance of printed matter. Now, what does that mean, typography? At times when you get these brochures printed, or something for the marketing, and some people say, no, no, this is not visually attractive, people won't understand. So when you change the style and appearance of some printed matter for that brochure or for that advertisement, that is called typography. Okay, because when you're doing a marketing of something, that thing should appeal to the audience, right? The people who takes that brochure, it should be visually, or it should be attractive, so that that grabs my attention. Okay, so this is what it means, what typography is in general. Reinforcing is to repeating something so that you understand better. Reinforcing is repeating to make people understand. So, for example, the teachers reinforce concepts again and again. That means that they should keep repeating it so that the every child should get the topic and understand and learn and just become an expert about it. All right. Next comes the formal and informal communication. Now, what is the meaning of formal and what is the meaning of informal? I am sure you've been studying this for years now. You would know what formal is. Or give me just an example. What is a kind of a form? I mean, what is a formal relationship or what is informal? You can just explain me in terms of example. I would like to know if you understand the word formal and informal. Anyone? Okay, Hanu, very good. Formal is talking to the principal and formal is talking to a friend. Okay. Formal means with proper rules and regulations. Very good, Masoom. Relationship in workplaces is formal. Very good. Formal relates to official things, something to do with official. Maybe you're talking to some, I mean, anybody official. Okay, so informal is basically when you're talking to somebody informally, when there are no certain rules, there's no formality, nothing. For example, you have a conversation with your friends, your family. That's all informal. And formal is basically when you share a formal relationship with somebody, maybe at your workplace, maybe at some organization, wherever. Okay. Now you should remember two very crucial points about communication, about the effective thing, about formal and informal communication, that it needs to be effective. When I keep repeating this word effective, 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 because effective is that when one person says something and other one completely understands and then respond back to it. That is what is called effective communication. Okay. Effective means when something has been delivered to its mark. I mean, whatever was planned for it. Okay. Then comes the free flow of information. There needs to be a free flow of communication without information, without any barriers, without any struggles. Then only it will be that, and then only a company or an organization will succeed. These are two crucial points so that a company or any organization succeeds. Okay. Okay. Now, what is the difference? Basic difference between formal and informal is that formal communication is supposed to have a well structured channel that needs to be established, that every organization should establish so that the company runs smooth. Okay. So the formal communication requires a well structure so that people are able to communicate with each other without, again, barriers. And that is very important, because if people will not talk to each other, if they will not communicate with each other, if there is no free flow of information, then there will be mistakes, there will be misconceptions, there will be misinterpretations. Clear? Yes. Okay. Now, how informal communication is just not, limited to your family and your friends. Informal communication is there in offices as well, probably with your colleagues, your the other employees, people from other departments, anybody. So informal communication is again quite important, right? For the health of the company. Now, why do you think we've used these words, health of the company? So that social needs of everyone is satisfied. They don't feel that they are aloof in an organization. They are alone in an organization. So every day humans need the formal and informal setup both. Am I clear? Yes. And of course, most verbal communications are between family, friends, communities, and everything is casual in nature, so it's all informal. Am I clear? But informal does not mean that it cannot be in offices. It can be, and that is important also, so that employees enjoy the staff, your people enjoy. Now, formal communication. Now, let's discuss what formal communication is. Look at your screens, please. Before I start explaining you about formal and informal communication, there are few things that you should know about formal and difference between informal communication. Okay. Of course, there's a difference of rules. Formal has rules, there are no rules to it. Okay. Now, there has to be a proper channel or proper hierarchy that needs to be followed, right? But that is not the case of informal. There is no structure. Okay, anybody can talk to anybody. So, but because there's a structure and there's a hierarchy that needs to be followed, that is why the process of formal communication becomes slow. And informal is fast because you don't have to take anybody's permission. You don't have to be, talk to anybody. You just have to simply approach the person and just start talking, right? Since it is slow, this is also time consuming. This is fast and rapid. Now this goes like you could just go. Okay. Now, there the main objective of formal communication is to fulfill the organizational objectives. Now, the full focus of formal communication is the organizational objectives. Now, you need to follow or you need to fulfill their objectives and their goals. But informal communication is to meet your personal interest and needs. Okay, right? Okay, are we clear? There's a systematic flow of information for sure. Are we clear till here? Yes. Can I start with the formal communication now? Oh, hierarchy. Hierarchy is basically there is so hierarchy is like this. Top management is this. Okay. And then there are levels of the people working in an organization. Okay. So this is the lowest level. Then it goes up. Then they are saying, so basically maybe they have associates. Okay. Then on top of that, they have managers. Okay. Then you have senior managers. Okay. On senior managers, probably you have VPs, then you have presidents or directors, what do you call it? And then you have the top management, which is CEOs. Okay, so now this is the hierarchy. Okay, right? And everybody has to follow this. So if the associate has to discuss something with the top management, they cannot go directly, right? There is a proper chain that they need to follow. Here, yes, 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 yes. This was the business subject. Yes, I remember. I'll get it uploaded. Okay, so now there is a proper chain that you need to follow. Am I clear? This is hierarchy, right? Now that you have understood this, it will be easy for you to understand the formal communications and the types. Okay. Now, what is formal communication? Let's just discuss that quickly first. It can be both oral and written, of course. When you are in an organization, you will be communicating each other while writing, and you also will be communicating each other while speaking, right? If you're in the meetings, you will discuss the oral or you will be speaking to somebody, right? And the written is basically when you will be writing. Am I clear? So you will be preparing documentations, you will be sending out for the review, for the to take the inputs or whatever advice in it, all of that. Okay. So oral and written both. There are certain rules that you need to follow. There are principles that you need to follow. There are some conventions that everybody needs to follow. There is a proper code of conduct that one needs to follow. Am I clear? The hierarchy in organization has to be followed. There is a no. There's no flexibility about it. If you have to follow, you have to follow, right? Now, when it comes to the style and the format, everything is formal. There has to be proper format of and the style and the language that has to be used while talking to one another, while sending out emails to one another, while preparing the documents and sharing with each other. Everything has to be formally done, and whatever the organization has set for their employees, okay, whatever the rules that they have, not everybody will have the same rule, but the only rule that is same with everyone is the being formal. Am I clear? Yes. Okay. Now comes the, it can be divided into three parts. First is the vertical, the other is horizontal, and this is diagonal. Okay. Now, vertical, as the name suggests, this goes up and down. Okay. The communication flows in a pattern, upwards and downwards. Okay. So upwards, the you go to the top management. The data goes up. Okay. From the this, I mean, like the, what do you say, level of management to the top management. So there's a top management here, and there are different levels of management here. They keep sending their out their data or papers for the review and everything. Then comes the instructions or the orders that needs to be passed, that goes downwards from top management to different level of managements. Am I clear? Yes. Saurabh, I don't know what you're doing. What are you sending? Why are you sending me blank messages so many times? Okay. So, of course, they move in a flow. Okay. Now comes the horizontal. As the name suggests again, the flow is like this. Okay. So people with the same levels, A and B, they are working at the same level in the same organization. And then when they are talking to each other, that is a horizontal formal communication, right? Now, please do not forget that this is a formal communication going on again. This is nothing informal, okay? Okay, so there's nothing, that thing about it. Now, diagonal is, you know what diagonal is? Diagonal is like this. Okay, so diagonal is Diagonal is basically cross-functional. Cross-functional means that employees at different levels of organizational hierarchy is described. Now, people with different organizational levels, they can talk to each other without following the stringent hierarchy or vertical thing. Okay. Now, this kind of formal communication is getting popular these days, and it is common these days, because when the organizations are large, like large, by large, I mean, if there are, 500 people working together, it's not easy to follow the entire hierarchy like vertically. In that case, you will miss out onto something, right? So this is why that this thing is not, this thing is getting popular day by day, right? Now, this reduces the chances of distortion, misinterpretation by encouraging direct communication. Now, so basically there are two teams now. Let's stop. There are two teams here. One is a sales team, okay, and one is the marketing team. Okay, now they have different level of people here. They also have a different level of people here. Now, there is a field manager here who works at a fields for some sales. They are selling some product like pens maybe. Okay, they send some pens. Okay. Now, this person is at the field. By field, I mean this person is going to every shop, stationery shop, so that they can take their pens and they can keep it and see how things go on for a month or so, if the pens have some sales or not. right? So the salesperson go to the shops and tell them to, keep my pens and show it to people, try to sell it, and then this person tells the shopkeeper that my pen is good with this, with that, and all the features of the pen. Okay. Now, okay, I'm going to remove this marketing person here. I'm going to put this production team here. Okay. Now, after a few days, after a week or so, the shopkeeper calls the sales manager and he says, salesperson here, and says that your pens are getting, the pens caps are loose, okay? They're not tight, right? And people are coming back with the complaints, okay? Right. And, but otherwise, the pen writes very well. The shopkeeper says your pen is very good. The only problem is the cap. Okay, so this cap does not fit. The cap is loose. Okay, do you see this pen? Yes. So it says the cap is loose, but your pen is very good. Okay, this person comes back with the entire stock. Now what to do? Now, if this person follows this whole hierarchy, and then this manager, sales manager, goes to the production team and then again tries to follow the entire hierarchy to reach to the manager, it will take a lot of time, right? Because the field manager thinks that this pen is doing very well. Okay, we need to quickly find out a solution so that we are not out of the market. So maybe the senior manager talks to his or her boss, or maybe the direct senior, and the senior thinks that, okay, I can talk to the production manager directly. Let me just talk to him that this is a problem, quickly fix it so that we don't lose out on the opportunities in the market. Now this person can go and directly talk to the manager. Okay, that all of this is a diagonal communication, right? If people walk the work, go through the vertical and horizontal type of communication, it will be delayed, right? And that will take a lot of time. Am I clear? Yes. Or this is also diagonal if the field manager can talk to the top level person who heads sales or his sales head in the company. That is also diagonal because this field manager is jumping all the steps in between. Am I clear? Yes. Are we clear about the formal communication? Any problems so far? Sanika and Vishwas, वर्टिकल कम्युनिकेशन फॉर्मल कम्युनिकेशन वो होता है जब हम एक वर्टिकली क्लाइंट में चलते हैं, राइट? पहले एक दिस एसोसिएट विल टॉक टू द मैनेजर, बात करेगा, फिर सीनियर मैनेजर से बात करेंगे, फिर हम वीपी से बात करेंगे, फिर हम डायरेक्टर से बात करेंगे, राइट? दैट इज अ वर्टिकल थिंग, राइट? उसमें क्या होता है, जो टॉप मैनेजमेंट होती है वो आपको ऑर्डर्स देती है डाउनवर्ड्स, राइट? जो टॉप मैनेजमेंट की तरफ से इंस्ट्रक्शंस और ऑर्डर्स आते हैं, और जो जो लो लेवल मैनेजमेंट होता है वहां से टॉप मैनेजर के पास डॉक्यूमेंटेशन जाते हैं, रिव्यूज जाते हैं, अप्रूवल्स के लिए बहुत सारी चीजें जाती हैं, राइट? So basically you flow the data upwards and then the orders instruction goes downwards. So vertical is something up and down. Horizontal is at the same level when two people are talking at the same level. Okay. डायगोनल इज जब आप हायरार्की को फॉलो नहीं करते हो और आप डायरेक्टली किसी और टीम के किसी और हेड से बात कर सकते हो एक कंपनी में, राइट? उससे क्या होता है, टाइम सेव होता है, प्रोसेस फास्ट होता है, वरना सबके पास अगर एक एक करके फाइल जाएगी, सब कहेंगे क्योंकि हम बात करते हैं दैट टेक्स अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम. ओके, दैट वेस्ट लॉट ऑफ टाइम, राइट? सो दिस इज व्हाट डायगोनल इज. ओके, क्लियर? Okay, great. Now let's take a 5 minutes break and then come back and then start with the informal communication. Yes? Okay. Now let's take a 5 minutes break and then I'll be back at 3:06. Okay. Some of you have been asking me to be slow, but I can, sorry, that I'm very slow and I need to be fast. Not everybody will understand better. You have to understand that I have too many students who are here right now watching the live uh, class. So I cannot be, I have to look at everybody and then, have my pace accordingly. Okay. So now let's start with the, okay, horizontal communication. Horizontal communication is basically when there are two people who to employ at the same level talking to each other. It's so simple. What was there to explain? Now, same level as in like probably the two levels also, or maybe one person. Yeah, definitely. Horizontal communication can between the managers or employees of same level of both departments can also take place. Yes, yes. Now, there are basically, for example, there's a project going on, and there's so many managers involved, like manager of sales, marketing, procurement, production, and so many things, construction. There's so many managers, and then they meet to regularly to discuss the funds, the finances, discuss the timelines, all of that. So that is a horizontal meeting. And nobody is a senior boss is involved in that meeting. So yeah. Okay, now let's start with the informal. Okay, now just like formal, informal is also very important. Now, informal communication is basically very casual, friendly, and unofficial type of communication. Spontaneous conversation, no prescribed rules, process, systems, formalities, and chain of command. That there is no prescribed rules and process involved in this. Okay. It is spontaneous conversation, of course, because this is not planned. So it is there's no prescribed rule कि इसको ऐसे करना है and this is how we need to talk. No. Uh, Informal communication can happen between two employees also, but outside the domain of the office. They're not discussing anything official, so they can have a little bit of informal communication as well. But mostly it is between families, friends, members of community, and any other social relation. It can flow from any source. Now, anybody can talk, it can start from anybody. There is no proper hierarchy to it, there is no rule to be followed. Anybody can talk anything. Am I clear? Yes. Now, coming on to that, there was not too much about informal communication. So let's just start with the there's a type of communication which is called grapevine. Now, what is grapevine? Grapevine is when employees interact with each other outside formal domain. So now this is because every employee is gossip. Everybody's gossip, just like students gossip, just like two friends gossip. Employees also gossip together. So they have their own team, and then they're discussing things unofficially about someone. Probably they are unofficially discussing about themselves only. So that is called informal communication. Now, why do we say this is required in an organization? Because this keeps everyone happy. Okay, this keeps everyone lively. This satisfy the needs of the people out. Having a social life is a basic need of any human life. So grapevine basically makes it easy. It helps in building relation. It helps in building relationships. So if two people share a good bond, they'll work together, they'll work better together. Address certain needs and grievances of employees. Now, you can address certain needs. So if one person has some problem and discusses with another person, maybe their the grievances are resolved. The other person might take care of it. That no, you might be feeling something wrong. This is nothing to do with it, or whatever. So your grievances and your needs can be taken care of through this. Here, any problem? This was pretty easy. There's nothing much in it. Yeah, chit chat in office. Yes, yes. Yes, Sami, that's right. Anything else? Can we proceed? Can we start with the next topic? There was nothing much, nothing in details in this one. It was very easy. If you have any problems, please ask me now. Formal domain means outside their formal relationship, or the formal arena. Basically, they're not discussing anything formal. Okay, so as long as you're not discussing something formal and confidential, this and everything else can be done, right? In informal conversation. So this is why it says outside formal domain. Am I clear? Sales example. What sales example are you talking about? Which sales example? So, make grapevine is basically when in an organization, two or three people or more than that, they share an informal relationship. Okay. So basically, they come together to have light conversations, or it is basically then they're discussing something else other than the formal work and all of that. Now this helps people to have a good relationship, a good team building. It boosts the confidence also in people because then they have support. Yes, Shivang, I'm repeating that only. So basically, when you have somebody to gossip with, if you look at this one, employees and organizations interact with each other outside the formal domain. Such communication is called a grapevine, gossip in the office. Now, gossip, I don't mean that they're gossiping about their bosses or something. It could be general that they're discussing about their personal lives also. Also, please remember this kind of a relationship does not have any hierarchies. It can be between any people. It can be between an associate or senior manager, also senior manager between CEO, also anyone. You can have that kind of a conversation with anyone. Okay. So this is what it is, and it says that it actually boosts people confidence. It actually helps them to satisfy their needs of social life uh, within the organization also. So this should be encouraged so that they don't feel aloof again. Grievances means when they have some concerns, and some I mean, like they're not okay with something. I don't understand what you mean by behavior of other employees can come in grapevine. Samir, I don't understand your question. Uh, yeah, problem. Okay, so can we start with the networking communication? Can we start with the networking communication? Yes, Ishan, that we call it diagonal communication. Okay. Now, what is communication network? What do you understand by that? Now, communication network is basically the method or pattern method or pattern used by members of an organization to pass information to other employees in the organization. So basically, they use the means and methods the different user would use to communicate their ideas, and that is called communication network. Now, this has a list of methods and patterns which are used by the employees. So for the passing of the information, by general meaning, what it means is communication. It is understandable that managers use them to create and track different flows. Now we create such communications networks so that we can create and track different flows of communication according to the ventures. The different needs would require a different way network to start with. Now, for example, the managers can assign that how the network will flow, the how the information will be passed within an organization for this particular project, so that he or she knows what is happening, what is coming, what is going to happen. If there is no network, there's no flow of information. In that case, the entire information can be lost. Am I clear? Yes. In this case, we also have, oh, yes, not to forget the structure of communication within a company depends on the size of the organization, type of the organization, and also the number of people involved. So you cannot decide about the chain network unless you know about these three things: the size of the organization, the type of the organization, and also the number of people. Am I clear? Not type of people, actually type of communication channels that we can use. Clear? Yes. So can we start with the different kinds of networks now? Just the way we have the types for everything. For this, we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 kinds of networks. The first one is vertical. Now, what would you understand by vertical? I've already explained you the vertical formal communication. What do you mean by, what do you understand by vertical network communication? This should be easy for you to guess. Tell me, what would you understand by vertical network? The repetitions of topics I will take up towards the end. Let me just finish 2 more topics and then I'll do it. Higher level to smaller level. Okay. Okay. So yes. Now vertical network is a formal network first and foremost. And it is two-way conversation. Okay, just two-way between the higher ranking employee and it's his or her subordinate. There's nothing much to it. Now, this one has the immediate feedback available. There's a direct link between the employees and their subordinates and the chance. So there is an A and then there is B. Okay. Now, A is the supervisor and B is the immediate subordinate of A. So whatever A tells B, after the completion, B can tell A, right? And if there is a problem, then the B can also ask A again what to do and how to do it. Yes. So this one avoids any chance of miscommunication. Okay, this is the smallest one. This is the easiest one. If two people are involved together, and then there's an immediate feedback given, there's an image message that is given. Clear? Okay, now here, please understand that there is an immediate feedback. Available. The person doesn't have to go circle and circle to circle to look for the answers. Clear? Can you give me an example of vertical network? Anyone? Can you give me an example of vertical network? You can pick up from your real life example as well. Come on. Think of something. I'm waiting. As an example, like teacher and student. Yes. Okay. No, not Rohan, not from the principal to students, principal to teachers, yes. Or maybe principal to vice principal, I would say. Okay. Some of you answered. You have to give me a formal example. What are you guys giving me? Tell me. HR to employee, okay. Lower level manager to labor, okay. Boss and employees, okay. So see, now you know what is this thing called. Okay, now let's quickly come to the circuit network. As this name suggests, circuit network will have a proper circuit. You know what circuit is? You know what circuit is? Now, circuit is basically when you have a full circuit made. Two or three people will communicate with each other continuously, and one of them will produce the messages, and the other one will give a feedback to messages. So this type of network is thus two people communicating with each other, sending messages, feedback, and thus forming a loop. Now there is a on and off conversation between two people, right? So there's an X here and there is an Y here. Now these two people are talking to each other, right, continuously, right? So they form a certain, because the A sends the message, B go through the message, okay, receives the message, and then Y sends the feedback. And now this happens continuously. It goes on and on and on. Now this circuit or loop is a circuit network, but these two people are interacted with the form of network are of the same hierarchy level. Now they have a same hierarchy level. This is different from vertical network because their feedback and messages are two-way conversation. That the two people of same level are discussing basically the feedback messages are going on and off between both of them. Okay, now these can be two colleagues. Okay, but in this one, it was not the people of same stature. In vertical, we have people who are from different stature. One is a supervisor and one is a subordinate. Clear? Yes? Any problem that you have? Anyone? This was easy. Okay, some of you are saying no. See, understand. Vertical and circuit. Now, vertical goes up and down. Okay, and there is a supervisor and the subordinate involved. Okay. Okay. In circuit, we have a circle formed between two people who are of a same stature. They are at the same position. For example, two colleagues are talking. So one sends out the message, the other one sends out the feedback. Am I clear? Yes. And now they keep go on and on and on, and they find a loop or circle of the conversation. But this one is just like, the supervisor giving orders, the subordinate is reporting back. So that kind of a conversation is happening here. Am I clear? Anyone who has a problem? Oh yes, this topic is one of the important topics from your exam point of view, because this is being asked in the exams a lot of times. There are a lot of questions based on the chain of networks. You can either get one chain of network and you just have to explain about that. But yes, it is easy. Please don't apply this thing, a student teacher example here, because we are talking about a professional setup. So the teacher and student, they have a very different relationship. They are not supervisor and subordinate, right? The teacher has a very different relation with students that is not of a official, like an office like a relationship. So don't use that example. Formal, these are all formal, these are not informal chain of networks. Informal chain of informal conversations, they don't have any hierarchy or network or rules, nothing. Remember, I told you. In interview, what? Tell me quickly. I'm going to take a one more chain network and I'm going to stop there. Then I will be taking up problems and then we'll have a small quiz. Um, if there is a long discussion from sales manager to purchase manager, yes, why not? Divya, what? If there is any question that I have not answered. Now, as the name suggests, again, chain network. Chain network forms a chain. Okay. Now, the communication patterns follows a chain of command from the senior to junior is called the chain of network. Of course, yes. Okay. Now, communication starts from the top, like from CEO, works its way down to a different level of employees. Now, we have A here, which is the CEO. Then he has two people under him, which is B and C. Okay. And then supervisor, manager, and CEO gives commands or instructions to those working under him or her in the organization. B, C, D, and E, F, G are subordinates to A. Okay. So now everybody is giving orders to the people who are under them. Okay. Now A gives instructions to these two. Then B gives to A, D gives to F, C gives to E, E gives to G. So there is a proper chain that is formed of instructions and for the work to be done. Okay. This should be easy. Again, there is nothing much to explain in these things. Now, this one is the leader, okay, and this is the army of this leader. Everyone, are you clear? Yes. Okay, now let's take up a quiz question here. There is Abhinav, okay, who is the manager of sales. No, the paper won't be objective type. You might have one or two questions which are objective, but not the entire paper. Okay, Abhinav is the manager of sales, right? Then we have Geeta, who is the junior manager of sales. Okay, now both of them are discussing about a project. Okay, Now tell me, which type of chain of network will they have? Okay, tell me. So Abhinav is the manager of sales and Geeta is the junior manager of sales. So Geeta is supposed to report back to the manager of sales, which is Abhinav. Now, which type of chain of network are we talking about here? Perfect. So this is vertical. Now you know. Right? No. How is this chain of command? And how this is a circuit network? Now, this is a vertical because two people are talking in hierarchy. Okay? Come again. Next one. X is the CEO. Okay. Then we have Y, who is the senior manager. No, yeah, senior manager. And there is Z also, who is the senior manager. Now, this is of sales and this is of marketing. Okay. So Y is senior manager and Z is the for the marketing. Now, CEO calls both of them to the cabin and he wants to discuss the plan of the launch of a particular product. Okay. So he discusses that what salesperson has to do and what marketing person has to do. Right. Now he's given instructions respectively to be given to their teams. Okay. And then how to and designate the work and everything. Now, what kind of a network will this form? Both sales manager will go and talk to his team, designate, delegate the work. The marketing manager will go to the team. Yes. Now this will be chain network. Are we clear? Yes. Right? Okay. Now you give me an example of horizontal network. Just the way I've given you an example. Quickly give me an example of horizontal network. You guys are still getting confused between chain and circuit. Give me an example. Don't tell me the definition of two employees between two employees. No. Give me a proper example. How would you explain it to me? Sales and marketing sales and purchase managers don't discuss the profit of the company. Manisha, I don't get your example. Hmm. How about this? There is E and there is F. Mm, Sayama, I will explain if it's not clear to you. We have ENF. How about E is the CA and F is also a CA? Both of them are working for the same company, and they are supposed to discuss, and they have to do some tax planning, and they have to give some advices, and they're working together. What kind of a network will this be? This is going to be horizontal. Two people of same status are talking to each other, right? Yes. So are we clear about the network chain network? The networks here. I will be discussing up two more along with the characteristics and the barrier. Or you want me to finish the entire chain network today? There's just two left. Should we finish it quickly? Quickly. We still have 15 minutes to go. If you're clear with these three, then I'll move to two more. Okay, great. So we have now next wheel and spoke network. Now in this, what happens is there's a one single person who is controlling the everyone. There is one person of authority. There is one person who controls everyone and gives out instructions and orders to all employees working under him. This mostly happens in, I think, businesses, the small businesses, because there's just one person who is going and giving instructions to everybody. Okay. So now, simple is that there is one person who is giving out instructions to everyone. Am I clear? Yes. Now everybody is getting instructions directly from this person. Okay. They're supposed to take instructions for him and come back to him only. Right. Now this is, like I said, this is more direct and efficient in small businesses. I mean, this is not possible in the big businesses, and this is not possible in the large organizations, right? Because we need to have different departments. It totally depends on the number of employees also you have. If somebody has like 5 employees and they're doing the same things always, right? So this is more valid there, I would say. This is no chain, and vertical is something which is vertical is valid anywhere. Chain is, of course, again for the big businesses also, because there's an entire chain of command which moves. Am I clear? Right? A company with, which is huge, needs more people to take decisions, because one person cannot take all the decisions. So this person hires a lot of people of a status, and of course, involve them in the business. But for the small business, if they're just hardly 5, 6 employees, you don't need managers for that, right? You can manage it on your own. So this is the about wheel and spoke network. Clear? Yes. This is pretty easy. Okay, the last comes the star network. I've explained you chain, I've explained you circuit, I've explained you vertical, and I've also explained you wheel and spoke. And if you've noticed, I have said, as the name suggests, the name says it all, right? Similarly, what do you think is a star network? I think that is how it is named. Okay, quickly tell me, what do you think it means? Okay, here's A. Okay, great, great, great. So yes, this means that anybody can talk to anybody, right? A can talk to B, B can talk to A, B can talk to C, C can talk to B, B can talk to D, D can talk to B. This, everyone can talk. And then they can talk to each other crossways also. And this makes the communication flow faster, and any kind of conversation or any kind of misconfusion or hindrance is avoided. Clear? Any discussion in the group? Yes, that's great. Right? So this is star network. Now tell me something. Do you think the star network is feasible in the larger organizations? Do you think one should have the star network in the larger organizations? Tell me. Tell me, do you think a star network or star network communication is feasible in the large organizations? Yes, yes. I also feel so. It would create a lot of chaos and miscommunication. This will mess up things. Yes. This is, I think, possible within the team, right? When there's so many people in a team, or probably when in a business is less number of people, not in the large organization. In the large organizations, yes, this is feasible in the team, because in the team, if you follow the hierarchies, things become a little slow. Okay, if junior has to talk to the manager, it becomes very tedious process. Take permission, take permission, take permission, then reach the person. No, so this can make the work easier, right? Okay, great. Now, out of all the five networks, which one do you think is the most feasible one, and something that is not feasible at all in the firms? In the, I would say, employ companies who has employees of about 100 people. A company has 100 employees. Now tell me, which chain of network will be appropriate for this kind of a company? A company has the 100 people. Yes, chain network is going to be very good. Tell me which chain of network will be the best. Chain, okay. Why not vertical? Why not vertical? It's not full done, Divya. No, 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 no. We're done. Left with two more topics that we'll be doing on Friday now. No, wheel and spoke. No. Chain network is good. Hindrance is a problem, something that stops you from doing something. No, Adhenu, why star network? So the most feasible chain of network would be chain network. But I also feel vertical is also part of every network because there are two people who share the relationship. I mean, they one is a supervisor, one is a subordinate. That happens everywhere. So vertical is by default part of every organization. Yes, vertical will be applicable, but not everywhere. Right. Okay, everyone. So this was about the communication. Now, quickly come up with your problems. I'll give you the answers. And do tell me how was today's class? Were the concepts clear to you? Now, in the next session, I will be doing two topics are left, which is characteristics and barriers. We'll quickly finish in 1 hour. In another hour, we will be taking up case studies and we will be discussing that in professional environment, how a certain type of communication or certain type of network can help you, a certain type of, the essentials of formal and informal conversation, how these things can help you and you can make yourself enhance your style. Default is galti karna. No, Vinash, for small conversations, you can have vertical. No, not for the big conversations I'm talking about. Okay. Everyone, quickly tell me if there is a problem that I can help you with. And if there is any question, and if there is if there is no problem, then you can tell me how was the class today. It was not 1 hour, Aska. You're exaggerating. It was like 25 minutes, but there were so many students who did not understand so many concepts from the last class. And as a teacher, I'm supposed to take care of everyone. My next class is on Friday now, the third class of communication chapter. Hierarchical meaning is, I told you, no. So basically, you have to follow the step of. There are certain levels of people employed. Okay, so you have to follow the hierarchy, as in you have to find a line of management to reach to a certain level. Okay, if you have a problem. Okay, if there is any problem, then you have to follow the entire chain first. So for example, if any associate wants to talk to the CEO, the associate cannot go to the CEO directly. They will have to follow the line of management. Will have to approach the immediate boss, and the immediate boss go to immediate boss. So there's a line that they need to follow, and then will reach to the person. Circuit network, Zeba and Zeba. Ishan, yes, you're right. All sort of networks and chains are possibly, involved in every organization. It's just that they need to be properly structured and managed so that there's no confusion. Okay. Zeba, सर्किट नेटवर्क वो होता है जब दो लोग आपस में एक सेम लेवल पर होते हैं, they're discussing something. एक मैसेज भेज रहा है, एक फीडबैक दे रहा है, फिर एक मैसेज हो रहा है, फिर एक फीडबैक हो रहा है, and there's a whole circle going on in between two people only. Okay, now spoke network is basically when there is one person, when एक बंदा है वो सबको instructions दे रहा है, right? There's one person who's the owner of the business and giving instruction, you take care of this, you take care of this, you take care of this. Once जब उनका task complete होता है, they come back to Those are the same person, that this work is done, now what? Okay, so that is circuit network and spoke network. Harsh, given. Samir, it's a very vague question. Is spontaneous conversation possible in formal conversation? Yes, when you're sitting in the meeting, something might spontaneously come up. It's just that you have to maintain your formal behavior. Yeah, and you should have the knowledge about what you are speaking. You shouldn't talk about anything just like that. Okay. Okay, Zeba, thank you so much. Okay, so do fill up your feedback forms about me, and I'll see you on Friday now. We will be having a fun session in next class because I'll finish the rest of topics in 1 hour. So for 1 hour, we'll be watching probably a video. We'll discuss some case studies and we'll take up your exam quiz. Okay, so have a good day, guys. Bye bye. Great, Shivangi. I'm so happy for you.